So the SALT approach, well, the acronym SALT, just to start with, it actually means Scripture and Liturgy Teaching Approach. So it's an approach that is designed to bring children to an understanding that God is real, that Jesus is real. He lived in a real place at a real time, and they need to be brought into that encounter. And as parents can play a very big part in that in that whole scenario. Many times as well, we have to consider the grandparents. Grandparents are in a prime position to be bringing children into an encounter with Christ. But very often one needs materials to guide that process. So the SALT approach is about putting materials, physical materials, in front of children to be used by them, to be unpacked by them, and the parents or the grandparents can go on that very same journey with the child at the same time. So as to follow the path of pondering through what they encounter. St. Thomas Aquinas spoke about or wrote about the fact that everything enters to us through our senses, and from that leads to an encounter with God. And we have to find as many ways as possible to do that with children. So that's basically what the whole approach is about. All my years of teaching experience, the way I used to teach when I was teaching religious education in schools, and then at the university teaching students, particularly in religious education, and realizing too that even when one is in a tremendously positive environment, perhaps a school, a home, a family, where the faith is lived and explained and expected of children, and children will appear to be going along with that, there can be something missing for one reason or another. The child, for example, may not really be grasping the essence of the faith as one would hope, and therefore it doesn't endure in their lives. Even in very faith-filled families, this can actually happen. And it's very important, I realize, in schools, at university level as well, and in homes very particularly, to help the children make the thing their own. That they have to have time to ponder themselves, to come to realizations and understandings. And for that you have to establish memories for the children that will never ever leave them. And that's what we want to do as parents or adults in the children's world. We want to give them a whole trail of memories. That's what drove me in a way to see how can we make this real for children. One thing is to have the great idea. I'm one of those people that if I see a good idea, I want to share it with the world. And therefore it means taking things further, making things accessible to as many people as possible. And that's what I've actually done out of a PhD that I did studying this whole thing, working with children in a school, in an ordinary mainstream Catholic school in Australia, discovering what needed to be in place to make this become a reality for schools, for teachers who perhaps don't have tremendous depth of formation sometimes, but for families, for children in parishes, for grandparents to be able to share things with children easily. And the whole SALT approach is geared towards making that possible for people. That's what inspired the SALT approach.